What's going on, guys? It's Spud here, and welcome to episode 73 of the Roundup. In today's episode, LA Thieves win Major 3 in a Game 7 fashion as OpTic are the Silver Surfers. It is Vanguard phase all over again, as it is another second place to the Green Wall after getting all the way to Grand Finals. The three events in a row, they've come second. LA Thieves win this one. Honestly, I'm shocked that they won after 3-2 because, oh my god, Dashy with the clip of the year. And just wait till I show you it if you've not seen it already. Incredible from Dashy to make it 3-2 to OpTic, but then, of course, Thieves win the last two maps with ease. And Thieves take it, and that is another chip for Scrap, for Hydra, for Abizi, and obviously Nwim gets his first one, and he was fantastic this weekend. There are so many matches to go through. It is going to be quite a long one. In terms of um, a lot of the group play games, we'll just look at the stats, look at the score, look at the stats, and then that'll probably be it. We haven't really got that many clips because there is like so many games to go through. If you are new though, please do subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. The Roundup is obviously a Call of Duty. Um, it is basically a podcast, except that I'm the only person that is on the podcast. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. It is really, really appreciated. And like the video if you enjoy. Obviously, I need to find out. We'll find out if we have got games next week. Obviously, I can check that pretty quickly. I'll check that during the video. So yeah, in case we have to do predictions for next week. Obviously, MVP and Rookie of the Year ladder as well. There has been some change. There's obviously only one more event left before the regular season awards are done. I actually don't know who's going to win MVP, by the way. Like, obviously, my MVP award will probably be different to who gets it. Anyway, let's get into it. So many matches. So we start with OpTic versus Omit. 3-0 OpTic. Pretty straightforward. Obviously, um, I will try and show stuff, but obviously, if it is quite, it is the Breaking Point website is doing what it does every major, so we will probably not look at the stats for these group play games. OpTic though do win this one. We'll check this one because we're here. OpTic 3-0, very good from OpTic, pretty comfortable. Obviously Den's had a bit of a rough one. But apparently Ethan is quite liked by Gentlemates. Apparently Gentlemates are going to be building an academy roster, and that Ethan the one on it. But yeah, Omit win. Also, I will have to show Bush win challenges Major 3. Absolute limbs from Bush. My Breaking Point's website is having a mare. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, Bush win Major 3. It is absolute limbs. Um, the challenges event. They had a massive rivalry with FaZe Falcons. Right, well this just isn't working, which is fantastic. I wish that the website did work a bit better. Wait, actually, whilst I'm here, I'm going to check. 29th. Oh, wait, no, there is a week off, so we will... Well, there isn't actually a week. There's no games this week, so next week's video will be predictions and roster mania. Right, so we're back to doing it this way. We're just going to be looking at the score. We won't be looking at the stats for the group player series then. So OpTic beat Omit 3-0. G2 beats... My Surge prediction was terrible, guys. I do apologise. Obviously, I did think Surge might have a decent run in terms of getting out the groups. That's a decent run for Surge because the crap. Nope. Top 16. I've just ruined it. But yeah, they lost to G2 3-1. FaZe got reset cheese, by the way, against Rock Esports. So it was 1-1. The Overload was 7-7, and for some reason the host ended the game. They had to replay the map, and then Rock lost. Falcons 3-0 Cloud9. Huntsman, I was gutted for Huntsman. 3-0 here, Koi. I mean, I expected them to lose to Koi, but then it was the Ravens series that was important, because obviously Heretics did beat Ravens 3-0. I literally had four streams on my laptop, you know, watching. Like, it was It was a lot of Call of Duty in one weekend, I'll be perfectly honest. Now, I'm not complaining. This was the first weekend since Major 2 where I've genuinely had that feel for COD. LA Thieves versus P7. Thieves win 3-1. Beans was getting loud though against Scrap. Breach beat Gentlemates 3-1 now. This was a surprise result, but yeah, good result for Breach there to get into the winners qualifiers final. OpTic then do win theirs. They beat G2 3-1 and they get through. Ormit beat Vancouver Surge and Ormit go into the losers, so the last chance qualifier to try and get into the top 8. Unfortunately, Ormit were the only challengers team to win. Now, the Pro-Am format is amazing. It's really good like this. And I hope that they do another one next year. But obviously, these challenger teams are a level below. Some of them, anyway. FaZe actually get 3-0'd by Falcons, and Falcons go through, straight through. Incredible from Falcons. Falcons are a team to talk about, actually. And then Cloud9 beat Rock 3-0, and then it's like, oh, okay, so Cloud9 aren't actually that bad compared to some of these challenger teams. Obviously, we had the Spanish derby, Koi Heretics, and Koi won it. Koi are looking good at the moment. They've had a good season, Koi. Yeah, no Chip, but since Kips came in, they've been good. Huntsman lose game 5, I believe it was round 10 or round 11 to Ravens. Got in. They would have had a chance to potentially have a game against the Heretics to get into the bracket. Thieves 3-0 Boston. Gentlemates take it to game 5, round 11. It was a breakdown from P7. They were 5-2 up, and unfortunately, it's a top 16 finish in the end. Then G2 3-0 Ormit to get into the top 8. Miami 3-1 Heretics. I mean, no, they don't 3-1 themselves. They beat Ravens 3-1 to get into the top 8. Gentlemates beat Breach in a revenge match to get top 8. And FaZe, as you'd expect, 3-0 Cloud9 to get top 8. So obviously, there's still a lot of games to go. We're going to go here now. So this was the winners round 1. Koi versus G2. And it went to game 5, but it was a Koi win here. A 3-2. Kip's the best player on Koi for this series. On the other hand, Estra with a 1.39 going down to losers bracket is very unlucky. They needed Mamba to be shooting a bit more, and I think they would have probably got this series wrapped up. But a good showing from Koi. I'm obviously a bit disappointed by the way Breaking Point have took the clips off the website. It would have been good for the majors. I know I don't use them for the other tournaments now, but like for the online stuff, but still. Anyway, then we had LA Thieves versus Vegas. The only game that Thieves lost all weekend. It was a 3-2 win here for FaZe. Nuim and Abizi positive for Thieves. On the other side, Simp and O4. O4, by the way, had a good tournament. I think Abuza and Draza were the weak points here for FaZe. Obviously, they didn't do too bad, but like they're not really going to be pleased with not getting to the grand finals. Obviously, it's FaZe. They've got high expectations. And then we had OpTic versus Miami Heretics, and this was a 3-0 win here for OpTic. Everyone positive for OpTic, everyone negative on the Heretic side. Super went neutral though. But yeah, this was very dominant from OpTic. And this is what I mean, like OpTic looks so good. They've only lost 7 games all season in the CDL. And 3 of them are grand finals. It's like Surge last year, grand final silvers. FaZe Vanguard, grand final silvers. OpTic, Black Ops 7. Unfortunately, it's the same. I genuinely thought they'd win this one. I had predicted OpTic Thieves grand final. I got that right, but I thought OpTic would win. I was wrong. And then we had Falcons Gentlemates. And this is what I mean. Falcons were good this weekend, but to only get top 6 is disappointing. Celium had a good one here. I'd say Exnid. This was Exnid's best LAN performance so far. I don't know if Envoy's going to get dropped, by the way, for Gentlemates, because obviously he has had a rough... he's had a pretty rough couple of splits now, so I don't know what they'll do. By the way, just saying this obviously, when it comes to champs, we will obviously have a lot of clips. I think the champ special will still be about 45 minutes. I know obviously the roundup has got shorter, in recent weeks, this season, sorry. Um, but that's just because sometimes there isn't really that much news going on. Really, there hasn't been much Rostermania this year either. And there was so much drama last year, like Pred getting dropped from OpTic, Beans for Visa, stuff like this. This is just not happening. Anyway, we go to winners round 2, and Koi beat FaZe to go to Championship Sunday and top 3 guaranteed. And Kips, this is what I mean. Kips and Nwim have changed their roster, but especially Kips, in my opinion. What a season he's having. This was actually O4's only bad series of the weekend that I can remember. 0.78 is not good. Apart from that, I think he had a pretty good weekend. And I'm not just saying that because I forgot that he had a 0.78. Right. And then we had G2 versus Thieves in losers round 1. Obviously, this was a really good losers run from Thieves to win the event. They win this one 3-1. Scrap 1.35, Hydra 1.22. Estriel is definitely the best player on that G2 team. Mamba had a rough one. I don't know what G2 are going to do in Mamba. Because Mamba's a good player. I think that next year he's not guaranteed. I think they'll keep him for the rest of the season. But he's not guaranteed to be on a roster next year, in my opinion. And then we had OpTic versus Falcons, and this was a game 5 here. OpTic do take it though. A great showing though from Falcons, in my opinion. Honestly, Mercules had a rough event. He was OpTic's worst player this weekend, and I never thought I'd ever say that. Mercules did not have a good weekend, and that's why my MVP ladder has changed a little bit as well. Hugh and Dashy though carrying OpTic here. With Dashy, like, I'd love to put Dashy first on my MVP ladder, but I don't think he's going to get that. I think that's a bit biased. Then we had another game 5. This one, it went to round 10. It was a reverse sweep to knock Heretics out at top 8, and Gentlemates go through. Ghosty having a good series here. Right, where are we at? Oh, here we go. Right, so then we had, so it's because there's so many games. Then we had FaZe versus Gentlemates. 3-1 here. Gentlemates top 6 elimination. Draza, Simp, and all 4 positive. A Boozer 1 off, being neutral. Everyone negative on the side of Gentlemates. Yeah, I mean, that's back-to-back top 6s for Gentlemates after winning Major 1. I'm not really sure what they decide to do now, but I think Envoy should be dropped. Obviously, they did really well to win Major 1, but ever since then, they just haven't been the same team. And then we have Falcons versus Thieves, and unfortunately for Falcons, it is a top 6 elimination. They do get 3-0 here, but they didn't even play that bad. It's a very close 3-0, but that's unfortunately the margins. I will give Falcons a lot of credit for this major. They look a good team. They just got unlucky with who they had to face. And I get you have to face everyone you have to beat the best to be the best, of course, I get that. You know, that's why there's stuff like UEFA Champions League. But I do think that Falcons did get unlucky there. So then we had Championship Sunday. So we had FaZe versus Thieves for top 4. We had OpTic versus Koi in the winners final. And we're going to start with the loser round 3. FaZe do lose to Thieves this time. It's a 3-1 win. It was a pretty close 3-1 to be honest. I mean, 5 points in the hard point, 2 in the S&D, a 1-point win in the Overlord for FaZe, and obviously the last hard point on Den was a bit further away. Everyone put a BZ positive on the Thieves. O4 and Simp, I mean, I believe O4 had a good map 1, didn't he? Yeah, 32 and 24. I remember watching this. I was very, very impressed with O4 here. Obviously on the other map though, him and the rest of his team did get outslayed pretty easily. Scrap and Nwim there with the best damage on their team and their best KDs. And at this point, I'm thinking Thieves look really good. Like, I was hoping that Koi, when OpTic beat Koi, regardless if it was game 5 or not, I wanted to face Koi. But when Thieves 3-0'd Koi, it looked worrying. So OpTic played Koi here. It was a 3-2 win. not very comfortable. I mean, we look at Mercules. This is like crazy that we're talking about Mercules dropping 0.7s. But OpTic do get the job done, which is the most important thing. They win map 1, map 3, and map 5. A good series to watch, a nail biter, let's say. But it is OpTic that take this one and go to a 5th successive LAN Grand Final. Obviously, Champs Champs 25, which they won. EWC 25, which they won. Major 1, which they lost. Major 2, which they lost, and obviously Major 3, which they lost. And I do think Major 4 they won't get to a Grand Final. I think they've had. I thought it was going to be 3rd time lucky. So then we had Koi versus LA Thieves, and I expected this to not be a blowout, and it was, yeah. The less said about this series, the better. As you'd expect from the stats, based on a 3-0 like that, it's dominance from LA Thieves. Unfortunately, Insight had a very rough series, so did Kips and Kleenex. Obviously, Scrap got. Oh, we will talk about MVP when we get to it, actually. But yeah, a good showing here from Thieves. And I honestly went into this grand final expecting Thieves to win because they were really hot with their guns. And here it is, grand final. So close, yet so far for OpTic Texas. It's been a rough. It's been a good year supporting OpTic because they're winning so many games. But three silvers is not good. Here it is, game 7. It was actually 5-4 on the Scar Overload. I forgot about that. But it was the Overlords and the S&Ds that cost OpTic. They won both hard points. They did win an S&D, thanks to some magic from Dashy. But like, Mercules a 0.84. I just don't know what happened to Mercules this event. He really struggled. Dashy was OpTic's best player in this series. Shotzi did alright as well with the damage. Nguyen was the best player here for Thieves. Scrap 0.98, but obviously the most damage in the lobby. Hydra, not great, but fine. You know, he did fine, and Abizi did fine. So MVP was given to Scrap. In my opinion, Nguyen should have been MVP. I think Nguyen was really good for Thieves this weekend. So, we have to talk about this map. Map 5, Scar S&D. Dashy goes 13 and 7. He pulls the clip of the year, and we're going to show you it with OpTic's reaction. Because I was watching this in the front room on my phone. I went crazy. My dad was asking, like, what are you doing?
Scrap gets another one, deals with shots. Dashy in behind, hits the shots. 1 versus 1. Holy shit! Oh my god! Let's fucking go! Are you serious?
That is outrageous. Like, the fact that OpTic did not win this event after that to go on to match point, like map point, sorry, it's 3-2 up in the best of 7. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. I'm gutted. I'm actually gutted because a player like that deserves it. And it's like Major 3 on Modern Warfare 3 when Dashy does that 1v3 against FaZe. And obviously they end up in the losers final or whatever it was, and then they end up winning the event. An incredible player. We're going to show you Thieves' winning moment here. Oh, it's reset from the start. Well, that's not ideal.
Thieves. And just honestly, who
Right, here we go.
They've done a lot of that in this final. OpTic have been about the clutch. They're going to have to rip off 4 straight rounds.
We're dueling.
It's a party. 8A. They're here.
Shotsky doesn't finish the kill, and then finally does. Mercules, where's Niam to the rear? Niam gonna get traded out. 2 for Mercules. I mean, they set up that trap if you're LA Thieves, and somehow you're down a man, but Scrap is here trying to close out the...
Oh, no. Scrap! Close
the game. Thieves take the chip.
Like, OpTic should be doing better in a 1v2. Yeah, Thieves would have won another round, like, we know that, but still. I am happy for Noim, obviously, came from the Huntsman, he's done really, really well. But yeah, well done to Thieves on winning Major 3. Really good losers run, and yeah, well done to them. So we're going to do our Rookie of the Year and MVP ladders, and then we'll talk about winners and losers. So we're going to start with Rookie of the Year. As you'd expect, Noim is first. Kips has been a fantastic second place. Like, he has been a superb player this season. But obviously we have to be realistic. Noim is going to be Rookie of the Year now because of that. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it has to be Noim now. Lurks is staying third. Everyone else is staying in their same positions, to be honest. And then MVP ladder, we have actually moved a few players. Mercules has been dropped to 3 after this event, and to be honest with you, he could end up dropping to 5 if he carries on this form. So this is how the top 10 now looks. So Huke's first, Simp is second, Mercules is third, Dashy's fourth, Scrap is fifth, Joe Deceives is sixth, Shotzi is seventh, Neptune is 8th, O4 is 9th, and in 10th to round it off is actually going to be Noim. So, winners and losers, for this event. That is the old thumbnail. How has that happened? There we go. Winners, Thieves, Koi, Falcons, even though Falcons got top 6. Losers, OpTic, just because it's back-to-back-to-back silvers. I would say Surge, Gentlemates, and yeah, I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week for predictions. Hope you enjoyed the major, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.